What I would say is that, I have read these new regulations for my sins. Only about 30 pages of it relate to accreditation, albeit that's the bit that we all worry about. The rest of it are about staying accredited. And staying accredited is more difficult than getting accredited. And the rules surrounding that they have changed, and they can change, and the interpretation of those rules is continually changing within Ofgem as they come across cases that they don't particularly like, and then they bring up a new rule, a new thing to measure everyone against. Reiterating Brian's point about why do some systems take so long to get accredited is someone somewhere has done something, and then Ofgem have decided that actually they don't want that to happen, so they bring in a rule about it, and then they apply that to all systems already in the pipeline, so they go back to the beginning and start all that accreditation process again. So ongoing obligations are incredibly important. Your project will be assessed against some of that at accreditation process, but also moving forward and at any audit, at any time you submit periodic data, any time you've got to submit a fuel sustainability statement, then you are into assessment against ongoing obligations. And there's another 60 pages of that in the regulations, and it can be quite onerous. Some of them are, if you change your system hydraulically, you've got 28 days to tell them about it. And if you don't tell them within 28 days, then you're in breach of your ongoing obligations, and they can decide to withdraw your payment. That is the threat that it is their ultimate threat. We can withdraw or suspend or remove entirely your payments. And so they run that down our throat on a regular basis for people that are in breach of these ongoing obligations. Changing of fuel, if you've lodged in your accreditation pack that you're going to burn wood chip, virgin wood chip, and you decide to burn grade A wood chip, then that is a change of fuel. You need to tell them about it. You need to make sure that your emissions criteria are met. You need to make sure that your boiler is capable of burning it, that you've got all the right processes in place. And the ways of measuring that, might not be under the biomass suppliers list, in which case you've got to do new fuel measurement and sampling and all these sorts of things. So don't forget about these ongoing obligations. This isn't a fit and forget technology. It's worth keeping a close eye on what you're doing and making sure that you keep track of where your fuel is coming from, what it consists of, and who's delivering it. When it comes down to environmental permits, they're not actually required in the RHI regulations to get payments. However, the Environment Agency get quite upset if you're burning things what they deem to be waste. And grade A recycled wood is deemed to be a waste, and so you need an environmental permit. And that is as onerous in some cases as having a registered fuel supplier on that permit, and if you decide to buy it from someone else down the road, then you have to change your permit as well. So do be aware of some of the issues around permitting and moving fuel supplier.